The applause from the audience had begun to settle, but the energy in the arena remained electric. Prince Harry's speech had ended on a high note, and those around him were still riding the wave of his passionate words. Cameras continued to pan across the venue, capturing smiling faces, enthusiastic cheers, and the general feeling of unity that the Invictus Games always inspired. But just beyond the public eye, in the front row where Meghan sat, the mood was starkly different. For those watching closely, the tension between Meghan and Harry was becoming impossible to ignore. Meghan's jaw was clenched, her fingers twitching slightly in her lap. To an outsider, she may have looked composed, simply deep in thought. But those who had spent years analyzing her body language, who had seen her in moments of triumph and moments of strain, could tell something was off. She was livid. Harry, on the other hand, was still absorbing the energy from the speech. He turned toward Meghan with the expectation of shared excitement. A warm embrace, a smile, perhaps a soft whisper of congratulations. Instead, he was met with an expression that stopped him in his tracks. Her eyes were sharp, her lips pressed into a tight line. She didn't say a word, but her silence spoke volumes. Harry hesitated for a brief second before offering her a small, reassuring nod, as if to silently ask what was wrong. But Meghan's gaze didn't soften. It held steady, unblinking. And that was when it happened. The moment that would become one of the most talked about incidents in the history of their public appearances. Meghan's hand moved before she could stop herself. A sharp, sudden movement, one that wasn't meant to be subtle. A collective gasp could be heard from those closest to them, a few people shifting uncomfortably in their seats. Some whispered among themselves, unsure if they had truly seen what they thought they had. Others froze, eyes wide with disbelief. Had Meghan just attempted to slap Prince Harry? The answer was complicated. To some, it may have seemed like a heated gesture, a quick motion fueled by frustration. To others, it was unmistakably aggressive. It wasn't a playful swat, nor was it a simple touch meant to grab his attention. The movement carried weight, an undeniable force behind it. Harry reacted immediately, instinctively pulling back. His expression morphed from confusion to alarm in a matter of seconds. His hands twitched at his sides as if deciding whether to respond verbally or simply diffuse the situation by remaining silent. Meghan, realizing what had just happened, seemed to freeze. Her eyes darted around, scanning the crowd, quickly calculating how many people had witnessed the moment. She had been caught in an emotional storm, and now she was facing the consequences of losing control in front of thousands of spectators. The cameras, those ever-watchful eyes, had caught the moment in sharp detail. It was impossible to tell whether they had captured the precise angle that would confirm everything, but the buzz among the audience members suggested that even without perfect footage, people had seen enough. A murmur rippled through the crowd. The feeling of excitement and celebration had shifted into something else entirely, a thick, uncomfortable tension that pressed against the room like an unseen weight. Security personnel, positioned around the venue for precautionary measures, exchanged glances. Some subtly adjusted their stance, prepared to intervene if necessary. This was not an incident they had anticipated. Meghan exhaled sharply, her fingers curling back into her palm, as if willing herself to regain composure. She knew the damage had already been done, but she had to think fast. For a split second, she considered leaning in toward Harry, whispering something, trying to frame the moment as a misunderstanding. Perhaps a joke gone wrong, a misplaced reaction, something that could be brushed off before the press turned it into a full-fledged scandal. But as she turned to Harry, his expression remained unreadable. He was staring straight ahead, his hands resting on his lap, his body tense. He wasn't going to help her smooth this over. The next few moments felt like an eternity. Meghan shifted in her seat, stealing a glance at the closest cameras, subtly adjusting her posture as if to downplay what had just happened. She smoothed her dress, inhaled deeply, and forced a tight-lipped smile onto her face. The audience, still murmuring among themselves, had not fully settled. Some attendees who had been recording sections of Harry's speech quickly scrolled back through their footage, trying to confirm if they had captured the moment. On social media, the first whispers were already beginning to surface. People in attendance, Those quick to react online had already begun typing their thoughts, sending out vague tweets about something strange happening between Harry and Meghan during the closing moments of the speech. It was only a matter of time before the internet exploded with theories. Back on stage, the next speaker had taken their place, and the program continued. The organizers, determined to keep the event running smoothly, did not acknowledge what had just transpired. But for those in the audience, the atmosphere had shifted dramatically. Meghan had lost control, and there was no turning back. She didn't dare glance at Harry again. Not yet. Instead, she pressed her hands together, sitting up straighter, forcing herself to appear composed. But inside, her thoughts were racing. How many people had seen it? Had the cameras caught everything? What would the media say? Would the palace respond? She knew, without a doubt, that the headlines would be brutal. And she knew that no matter how carefully she tried to control the narrative in the coming days, this was an event that could not be erased. Harry, still unmoving beside her, finally turned his head slightly. Not enough to look at her fully, but just enough to acknowledge what had happened. She could feel his energy shift, and in that moment, she knew this was just the beginning of the fallout. The energy in the stadium had shifted. What was once an evening of celebration, admiration, and honor for the wounded warriors who had come together for the Invictus Games had now taken a different turn. It was subtle at first, just an underlying tension rippling through the rows of spectators. People whispered among themselves, glancing toward where Meghan and Harry sat. Some exchanged wide-eyed stares. Others tried to process what they had just witnessed. But for those who had seen it clearly, there was no mistaking what had just happened. Meghan Markle had lost control, and it had played out in front of thousands of spectators. It didn't take long for the murmurs to spread. The people closest to the scene had started exchanging words, passing along bits and pieces of what they had just seen. Some believed it was an overreaction, a moment of frustration that had gotten out of hand. Others were shocked, struggling to grasp the reality that the woman who had carefully crafted an image of poise and grace had just displayed something so raw, so unfiltered, so undeniably tense. The cameras had cut away at the crucial moment, but those who had been in attendance were already pulling out their phones, scrolling through their footage, trying to see if they had captured anything that would confirm the tension. Some had recorded Prince Harry's speech from start to finish, never anticipating that the real story would unfold immediately after. A few attendees took to social media within minutes. "Something just happened at Invictus," one user posted cryptically. "Anyone else catch that? Not sure if I'm seeing things, but did Meghan just try to slap Harry?" Another wrote. Others, still trying to process what they had seen, hesitated to comment but kept their cameras rolling, watching Meghan closely for any further reactions. At first, mainstream media outlets were still focused on Harry's speech, reporting on the key takeaways and highlights of the event. But the whispers on social media quickly turned into something bigger. Soon, journalists who had been present at the event started digging. They began looking at the footage, reaching out to attendees, and piecing together what had just occurred. The first official article to hint at the tension came from an independent news blog that had been covering the Invictus Games. The headline was careful, vague enough not to make direct accusations, but compelling enough to attract attention. Uncomfortable moment between Meghan and Harry caught on camera at Invictus Games. Within minutes, the article was being shared at an alarming rate. People who hadn't even been watching the Invictus Games were now searching for any available footage. Then came the first blurry, low-quality video clip from a spectator in the audience. It wasn't the perfect angle, but it showed enough. Meghan's sharp movement, Harry's instinctive reaction, and the awkward silence that followed. That was all it took. The clip was uploaded to Twitter, and within hours, it had been viewed millions of times. Different angles from other audience members began emerging, piecing together a more complete version of events. The slow-motion edits, the zoom-ins, the frame-by-frame breakdowns, it was all happening in real time. Soon, news networks began picking up the story. Major outlets, hesitant at first, started using phrases like unexpected tension, unusual exchange, and awkward moment between Harry and Meghan. They carefully avoided making outright accusations, but the undertone was clear. By the next morning, it was unavoidable. The story had taken on a life of its own. Paparazzi stationed outside the couple's Vancouver hotel were on high alert, hoping to capture the first images of them after the incident. Were they still together? Were they acting normal? Would they issue a statement? On morning talk shows, panelists debated the moment with speculation running wild. Look, we don't know exactly what happened, but this is not the first time there's been tension between them at a public event, one commentator said. Could it have just been a misunderstanding? A moment of frustration that got taken out of context? Another suggested. Others were less forgiving. This is damaging, not just for Meghan's image but for the couple as a whole. This is a major public relations crisis, one analyst commented. Twitter was flooded with theories. Some claimed Meghan's reaction was proof of deeper problems in their marriage. Others defended her, saying she had simply been caught up in the emotions of the moment. The royal expert commentators wasted no time jumping in. This is exactly why the royal family distanced themselves, one well-known royal journalist stated. This kind of behavior does not align with the dignity and composure expected of someone who was once part of the monarchy. Another royal correspondent speculated that the tension between Meghan and Harry had been building for months, and that this was just the first public crack in their carefully managed image. The late-night talk shows had a field day. Comedians took jabs at the situation, making light of what had happened with exaggerated reenactments and sarcastic remarks. Memes flooded the internet, with side-by-side comparisons of Meghan's sharp movement next to famous movie slaps. For Meghan, this was a nightmare unfolding in real time. She had spent years crafting her public image, carefully curating every detail, ensuring that the world saw her as a poised, graceful figure. Now, that image was being picked apart on every platform imaginable. Public relations experts were already weighing in on what Meghan's next move should be. Damage control needs to happen immediately, one expert stated on a news segment. They need to release a statement, whether through a spokesperson or directly, explaining or clarifying the situation before the media spins it further out of control. But there was one major problem. Meghan and Harry had not responded. The silence was deafening. In crisis management, silence can sometimes be a powerful tool, allowing the media frenzy to burn out on its own. But in this case, it was doing the opposite. The longer Meghan remained quiet, the more people speculated. Was she waiting for the right moment to issue a carefully crafted statement? Was she hoping the story would fade before it reached a point of no return? Or was she struggling to come up with an explanation that could undo the damage? Regardless of her strategy, the damage was already done. The world had seen the moment. The world had reacted. And now, it was Meghan versus the court of public opinion. The question was, could she survive it? And more importantly, what would she do next? To understand the complexity of the accusations being made by Lady C, we must first take a step back and examine the relationship between Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Their love story, which began in 2016, has been anything but conventional. From their whirlwind romance to their eventual marriage and departure from royal duties, Meghan and Harry's relationship has been scrutinized under the harshest of lights. However, if Lady C's claims are to be believed, their relationship has also been part of a larger plan, one that may have involved more than just love. It all started in the summer of 2016, when Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were introduced by a mutual friend. Harry, who had spent years trying to keep his personal life private, was reportedly taken by Meghan's down-to-earth personality and her strong sense of independence. Meghan, for her part, had been living in Toronto while filming Suits and had no prior connection to the royal family. It was a relationship that defied convention from the very beginning. Their first date reportedly went well, with the two connecting over their shared passions for charity work and a love for adventure. However, it didn't take long for the media to catch wind of their blossoming relationship. The British tabloids, notorious for their invasive tactics, wasted no time in delving into Meghan's past. Articles began to surface, scrutinizing her previous marriages, her career, and her background as a biracial woman. Despite the intense press coverage, Meghan and Harry continued to grow closer, often making rare public appearances together. It was clear that the two were deeply in love. In November 2017, just over a year after their first meeting, Prince Harry proposed to Meghan with a stunning ring featuring a diamond from Botswana and two smaller stones that once belonged to Princess Diana. The engagement announcement was met with widespread excitement, as many saw the union as a fairy tale come true. But beneath the surface, there were already signs that their relationship was not as simple as it appeared. As the engagement progressed, tensions began to mount. The first major hurdle came in the form of Meghan's relationship with the British press. While Harry had always struggled with the media's treatment of his family, Meghan's experience was far more intense. She was a Hollywood actress, with a life and career that were already well documented. The tabloids, hungry for every scrap of information they could find, began publishing stories that painted her as a divisive figure. Her relationship with her estranged father, Thomas Markle, became a constant point of contention, with media outlets latching onto any story that would sell papers. It wasn't long before Meghan found herself under the full weight of media scrutiny, something she hadn't been prepared for. Despite the pressures, Meghan and Harry's wedding in May 2018 was a spectacular event. The ceremony, held at St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle, was watched by millions around the world. Meghan, in a Givenchy gown, looked every bit the modern-day princess, and Harry, in his military uniform, was visibly emotional as he saw his bride walk down the aisle. It was a day of celebration, but even then, cracks were beginning to show. Meghan's new life as a member of the royal family was fraught with challenges, and the toll it took on her was evident. Behind closed doors, Meghan and Harry were struggling with the expectations placed on them as members of the royal family. As Meghan adapted to her new life, her relationship with the royal family began to show signs of strain. In the months following their wedding, Meghan faced increasing criticism for her perceived lack of adherence to royal protocols. From her decision to keep the names of her friends private to her refusal to appear at certain royal events, Meghan's actions were often seen as a challenge to the monarchy's centuries-old traditions. Some royal experts believed that Meghan was too modern for the royal family, and that her outspoken nature was at odds with the reserved image that the family tried to project. This tension came to a head in 2019 when Meghan and Harry welcomed their first child, Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor. The birth of their son was a joyous occasion, but it was also a catalyst for further drama. Meghan's decision to keep details of the birth private, including the exact location, caused controversy, as the royal family had always been open about such matters in the past. Additionally, Meghan's public battles with the press continued, and she and Harry began to distance themselves from the royal family. In early 2020, Meghan and Harry made the shocking announcement that they would be stepping back from their royal duties. This decision, which took many by surprise, marked a dramatic shift in their relationship with the monarchy. The couple stated that they wished to become financially independent and spend more time in North America, away from the intense media scrutiny that had plagued them for years. While some supported their decision, others criticized it as an act of defiance against the royal family. This departure, now commonly referred to as Megxit, was a pivotal moment in Meghan and Harry's relationship. For Meghan, it represented a break from the royal family's strict expectations, allowing her to pursue her own career and charitable interests without the constant interference of the British press. For Harry, it was a deeply personal decision to protect his family from the pressures that had taken such a toll on his own life. But according to Lady C, it was also part of a larger strategy. In Lady C's view, Meghan's decision to step away from royal duties wasn't just about finding freedom. It was a calculated move to position herself in a more powerful and financially secure position. As the couple settled in California, their relationship with the royal family continued to deteriorate. The tension reached new heights in March 2021, when Meghan and Harry gave a bombshell interview to Oprah Winfrey. In the interview, Meghan accused the royal family of being insensitive to her mental health struggles and of making racially insensitive comments about her son, Archie. The interview sent shockwaves through the media, and the fallout was immediate. Many royal watchers were divided, with some supporting Meghan's claims and others accusing her of tarnishing the monarchy's image. In the wake of the interview, Meghan and Harry's relationship with the royal family became more strained than ever. Meghan's accusations, combined with their decision to step away from their royal duties, painted them as rebels who had turned their backs on the family that had once supported them. And yet, Lady C's claims suggest that there may be more to Meghan's actions than meets the eye. According to Lady C, Meghan's decision to distance herself from the royals was not just about seeking personal freedom or happiness. It was part of a larger, more calculated plan to position herself for a piece of Princess Diana's legacy. The complexity of Meghan and Harry's relationship cannot be understated. What began as a romantic love story has evolved into a saga of public battles, personal struggles, and strained family dynamics. The narrative surrounding their relationship is far from simple, and Lady C's accusations only add another layer of intrigue. Is Meghan Markle really the ambitious schemer that Lady C portrays her to be? Or is she simply a woman trying to navigate the challenges of a life in the spotlight? As we continue to explore Lady C's claims, it becomes clear that Meghan and Harry's relationship is anything but straightforward, and the truth behind their motivations remains elusive. When it comes to royal family drama, few figures have been as outspoken or as controversial as Lady Colin Campbell. Known for her bold opinions and willingness to speak her mind, Lady C has made a name for herself as a royal insider with a knack for stirring the pot. Her critiques of Meghan Markle have been particularly biting, and her latest allegations are no exception. According to Lady C, Meghan Markle is not simply a woman trying to navigate life within the royal family. She is allegedly a calculating schemer who has been working behind the scenes to bring Prince Harry down. But the stakes are even higher than personal tensions or royal discord. Lady C claims that Meghan's ultimate goal is to secure a financial windfall by gaining access to Princess Diana's fortune. At the heart of Lady C's allegations is the notion that Meghan Markle has never been fully invested in her relationship with Prince Harry, at least not in the way the public has been led to believe. According to Lady C, Meghan's true motivations have always been rooted in ambition, power, and financial gain. Rather than simply wanting a happy marriage, Meghan has reportedly been using her connection to Prince Harry as a means to secure her place in the royal family, not just by virtue of marriage, but through something far more significant, Princess Diana's wealth and legacy. Lady C's claims suggest that Meghan has been strategic in her every move, carefully crafting an image of a compassionate, socially conscious woman while simultaneously working toward a goal that would give her substantial control over the wealth that once belonged to Princess Diana. Lady C suggests that Meghan's relationship with Harry, which seemed to be based on love and shared values, may have been part of a larger plan all along. According to Lady C, Meghan never wanted to simply be a member of the royal family. She wanted to inherit Diana's fortune, which she saw as a potential source of power that could elevate her beyond her role as a duchess. The idea that Meghan might be using Prince Harry as a pawn in her financial strategy is a bold accusation, but it's one that Lady C has repeated time and again. Her assertions have been particularly pointed in interviews and her own public appearances, where she has openly questioned Meghan's true intentions. Lady C's view is that Meghan is playing a long game, one that involves not just manipulating public opinion and the royal family, but also positioning herself for a future that could include a significant inheritance. According to Lady C, Meghan's desire for this inheritance is not just about securing a comfortable lifestyle. It's about gaining the kind of financial independence and influence that could enable her to shape her own destiny on her terms. But where does Lady C get the idea that Meghan has been scheming to access Princess Diana's wealth? For Lady C, it's all about patterns and behaviors that Meghan has exhibited over time. Lady C believes that Meghan's decision to marry Harry was calculated, as was the way she maneuvered herself into the royal spotlight. From the very beginning, Meghan was portrayed as someone who was fiercely independent and focused on her humanitarian work, but Lady C argues that these traits were only part of the persona Meghan wanted to present to the public. In Lady C's view, Meghan used her supposed altruism as a cover for her true motivations, securing her position within the royal family and gaining access to its wealth. The idea that Meghan could be scheming to access Diana's fortune is rooted in the belief that the legacy of Princess Diana is not just a historical narrative, but a living, breathing source of power. Princess Diana, who was known for her charitable work and her status as the people's princess, left behind an estate that included a significant inheritance. This inheritance, Lady C argues, has become a central part of Meghan's aspirations. According to Lady C, Meghan has not only used her relationship with Harry to gain access to royal circles, but has also been carefully eyeing the wealth and influence that Diana's legacy could provide. But what would Meghan's ultimate goal be in acquiring this fortune? For Lady C, the answer is clear: power. Diana's estate, which includes valuable assets and an ongoing legacy, is seen as one of the most lucrative sources of wealth outside of the crown itself. To Lady C, Meghan's actions over the years, her public feuds, her departure from royal duties, and her increasingly strategic moves are not just about personal freedom or the pursuit of happiness. They are part of a larger, carefully executed plan to gain control of a fortune that could secure Meghan's future and elevate her status in ways that go beyond her current position as a duchess. Lady C's accusations raise several critical questions about Meghan's true motivations. Is Meghan really just a woman in love, trying to build a life with her husband and make a difference in the world? Or is she, as Lady C suggests, playing a more complex and potentially manipulative game, one that involves using Harry, the royal family, and even the public to achieve a larger goal? If Lady C's claims are true, then Meghan's ambitions go far beyond anything we've been led to believe, and her relationship with Prince Harry may be far more strategic than romantic. One of the most striking aspects of Lady C's allegations is her belief that Meghan's actions are part of a calculated strategy to undermine Prince Harry and weaken his position within the royal family. According to Lady C, Meghan has been manipulating Harry to create a situation where he would feel increasingly isolated from his family, ultimately pushing him toward a break with the monarchy. This, Lady C argues, is where Meghan's financial ambitions come into play. By severing ties with the royal family, Meghan could position herself as a more autonomous figure, one with the ability to make decisions that could influence the flow of Diana's fortune. The question of whether Meghan's actions have been truly manipulative is a topic of great debate. Many royal observers have speculated on the motivations behind her decision to step back from royal duties, and the fallout from her and Harry's decision to move to North America has been significant. While some have applauded the couple for taking control of their own narrative, others have viewed their actions as a form of rebellion against the royal family's established order. Lady C's view adds an entirely different dimension to this narrative, suggesting that Meghan's rebellion is not just about personal freedom. It's about gaining access to financial resources that would otherwise be out of her reach. While Meghan's public persona has largely focused on her work with charitable causes and her advocacy for social justice, Lady C's allegations suggest that these actions may be a smokescreen, hiding a deeper, more financially driven agenda. Meghan's relationship with Prince Harry, Lady C argues, has always been part of a much larger plan, one that could ultimately see her benefiting from the wealth and legacy of Princess Diana. And as long as the public continues to view Meghan as a victim of the royal family's rigid protocols, Lady C claims, Meghan will be able to carry out her plans without the full weight of scrutiny. Of course, these allegations are just that, allegations. Meghan herself has consistently denied that she has any financial ambitions or ulterior motives behind her actions. She has stated that her decision to step back from royal duties was about finding peace and stability for her family, not about pursuing money or power. But according to Lady C, the truth is far more complicated. In Lady C's view, Meghan's public statements and actions don't align with the deeper, more calculated moves that she believes Meghan is making behind the scenes. If Lady C's claims are true, then Meghan's motivations are far more complex than anyone could have imagined. As the controversy surrounding Meghan Markle continues to unfold, one thing remains clear. Lady C's allegations have added a new layer of intrigue to an already complex royal drama. Whether or not Meghan's ambitions are truly as calculated as Lady C suggests remains to be seen, but the possibility that Meghan is using her marriage to Harry as a means to secure access to Princess Diana's fortune raises important questions about the nature of power, influence, and financial legacy within the royal family. Princess Diana's legacy is one of the most influential and complex in modern history. Known as the People's Princess, Diana captured the hearts of millions around the world with her compassion, her charitable work, and her ability to navigate the intricate world of royalty while remaining deeply connected to the public. Her tragic death in 1997 left the world in mourning, and her legacy has been shaped by both the public's adoration and the mystery surrounding the circumstances of her life. But beyond the emotional impact she had on the world, Princess Diana left behind a substantial fortune and a legacy that continues to hold significant power. At the core of Lady C's claims about Meghan Markle's alleged scheming is the idea that Princess Diana's fortune could play a pivotal role in shaping Meghan's future. Lady C suggests that Meghan's desire for financial independence and power goes beyond just securing her own future. It's about claiming a piece of the fortune that Diana left behind. This claim is not as outlandish as it may first appear. Diana's estate, which included both cash and valuable assets, was a source of substantial wealth. Over the years, various estimates have placed the value of her estate at upwards of £21 million, a sum that has continued to grow due to investments, the sale of her possessions, and the ongoing royalties from her image and public associations. For Meghan Markle, gaining access to this fortune could represent a major shift in her financial standing, providing her with the kind of wealth and influence that could rival even the richest members of the royal family. It's not just about the money. It's about the power that comes with being linked to such a significant legacy. If Lady C's allegations are accurate, then Meghan's connection to Diana could be the key to unlocking a new chapter in her life, one that allows her to position herself as a leading figure in both the royal family's financial sphere and the global philanthropic community. However, it's important to understand the nature of Princess Diana's estate and what it entails. Unlike many royal assets, which are passed down through the monarchy, Diana's estate was not simply handed over to her sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. Instead, Diana's will specify that her fortune should be divided among her sons and a few charitable causes that were close to her heart. The estate has since been managed by a combination of Diana's family and trustees, with Harry and William receiving portions of the estate as they reached adulthood. The bulk of Diana's wealth has been used to support various charities and organizations that were close to her heart, including causes related to AIDS awareness, homelessness, and landmine removal. These charitable endeavors have ensured that Diana's legacy continues to impact the world long after her passing. However, Lady C's allegations suggest that there may be more to Diana's legacy than just charitable giving. According to Lady C, Meghan's apparent interest in this legacy is not purely altruistic. It is, instead, a strategic move to gain control over a portion of Diana's wealth. For Meghan, this could mean not only securing a comfortable life, but also the opportunity to build a foundation of her own and gain financial independence from the royal family. What makes Lady C's claim particularly compelling is the role that wealth plays in Meghan's public persona. Throughout her time in the royal spotlight, Meghan has often been portrayed as someone who values independence and self-sufficiency. Her decision to step away from royal duties and pursue financial independence with Harry is seen by many as an act of defiance against the monarchy. But according to Lady C, this move wasn't just about personal freedom. It was about positioning Meghan in such a way that she could eventually gain access to wealth that would otherwise be out of reach. While Meghan has made it clear that she has no intention of benefiting financially from her association with the royal family, Lady C's perspective suggests that Meghan may be playing a much longer game. For Meghan, the opportunity to control a portion of Diana's fortune would not only provide financial security, but would also elevate her standing within the public eye. It would give her the kind of clout that few others could claim, especially within the context of the royal family's traditional hierarchy. In exploring Lady C's allegations, it's crucial to consider the personal dynamics between Meghan and Prince Harry. According to Lady C, Meghan's desire to access Diana's fortune is not just about money. It's about securing her place within the royal family's complex structure. By aligning herself with the legacy of Princess Diana, Meghan could potentially shift the power dynamics within the royal family, using her new wealth to exert influence over both Harry and the public's perception of their family. In Lady C's view, this would represent a significant power play, one that could alter the way the royal family operates in the future. For Harry, the implications of these allegations are particularly significant. As a member of the royal family, he has always been seen as the heir to the throne, a position that has come with both privilege and limitations. Harry's relationship with Meghan has been a defining feature of his life in recent years, and if Lady C's claims are to be believed, it suggests that Meghan's relationship with him may have been influenced by more than just love and companionship. Instead, Meghan may have seen Harry as a means to an end, using their relationship as leverage to gain access to the financial resources and power that come with being part of the royal family. This idea is particularly striking when considering the nature of Harry's relationship with his family. While he has often been depicted as the rebellious younger son, who was more willing to challenge the royal family's traditions, Harry's motivations for stepping back from royal duties have often been tied to his desire for privacy and a sense of normalcy for his family. According to Lady C, however, this desire for privacy may be intertwined with Meghan's own ambitions. By distancing themselves from the royal family, Harry and Meghan could create the space needed to pursue their own financial goals, including gaining access to Diana's wealth. Of course, these claims remain speculative at best, and there is no concrete evidence to suggest that Meghan has been actively pursuing Diana's fortune. However, Lady C's accusations have added a layer of intrigue to the ongoing narrative surrounding Meghan and Harry's departure from royal life. If Meghan's interest in Diana's wealth is truly part of a larger, more calculated plan, it would suggest that her decision to distance herself from the royal family is not just about personal freedom. It's about securing her place in a new financial and social structure that would allow her to wield greater influence in the future. As the story continues to unfold, the role of Princess Diana's legacy cannot be underestimated. For Meghan Markle, access to Diana's wealth could represent more than just a financial gain. It could provide the means to reshape her own destiny. But whether or not Lady C's claims are true, the fact remains that Diana's legacy continues to be a powerful force, one that shapes not only the lives of her sons, but also the future of the royal family itself. When Meghan Markle first entered the global spotlight as an actress on the legal drama Suits, few could have predicted the transformative journey that lay ahead for her. Known for her grace, beauty, and poise, Meghan's early public image was that of a successful and self-assured woman who had carved out a place for herself in Hollywood. But it wasn't just her acting career that caught the attention of the world. Meghan Markle became a symbol of empowerment for many, a woman of mixed-race heritage who had achieved success in an industry that often lacked diversity. Yet, her true rise to global fame came when she became the Duchess of Sussex after marrying Prince Harry in May 2018. This marriage not only propelled her into the heart of the British royal family, but also placed her at the center of one of the most watched, analyzed, and scrutinized relationships of modern times. However, what many people may not realize is that Meghan Markle has carefully cultivated her public persona over the years. From her days as a Hollywood actress to her time as a royal, Meghan's image has been meticulously crafted to reflect both her personal values and the role she has chosen to play in the public eye. It is this carefully curated public image that has shaped her narrative and led many to view her as a woman of ambition, intelligence, and progressive ideals. But beneath the surface, critics like Lady C argue that Meghan's public persona may not be as genuine as it seems. Instead, they claim that Meghan has used this image to further her own ambitions that, according to some, may go far beyond what the public perceives. At the core of Meghan's public persona is her image as a humanitarian and advocate for social justice. Since joining the royal family, Meghan has used her platform to champion causes such as gender equality, racial justice, mental health awareness, and environmental sustainability. She has been vocal about her support for women's rights and has used her position to raise awareness for issues affecting marginalized communities around the world. Meghan's charitable endeavors and her outspoken advocacy for these causes have earned her the admiration of millions and have positioned her as a role model for many. She has been celebrated for her candidness and her willingness to speak out on issues that are often considered taboo or uncomfortable to discuss in public. However, as Lady C has pointed out, Meghan's public persona may not be as authentic as it appears. According to Lady C, Meghan's actions are not solely motivated by a desire to make a positive difference in the world. Instead, Lady C suggests that Meghan has used her public image to further her own personal and financial goals. Lady C has been particularly critical of Meghan's relationship with the media, claiming that Meghan has carefully crafted a narrative that presents her as a victim of royal scrutiny and press intrusion, while conveniently ignoring the ways in which she has manipulated the media to serve her own interests. In Lady C's view, Meghan has been strategic in how she uses the press to her advantage, carefully choosing moments to share her personal struggles and challenges in order to garner sympathy and support from the public. For example, Meghan's interviews with high-profile media outlets, such as her bombshell conversation with Oprah Winfrey in 2021, have garnered significant attention and public sympathy. In this interview, Meghan and Harry discussed their experiences with the royal family and the challenges they faced during their time as working royals. Meghan spoke openly about her struggles with mental health, her feelings of isolation, and the negative impact that the media had on her well-being. The interview was widely praised for its candidness, but it also raised questions about the motivations behind Meghan's decision to share such personal details. Lady C, among others, has argued that Meghan's decision to air these grievances in such a public forum was part of a broader strategy to manipulate public opinion and cast herself as a victim in order to secure her own position within the royal family and the wider global stage. Moreover, Lady C claims that Meghan's public persona as a humanitarian is part of a larger, more calculated plan to gain access to power and wealth. In Lady C's view, Meghan has used her charitable work and advocacy for social justice as a platform to enhance her own image and build a global following. But according to Lady C, this public image is not as selfless as it may seem. Instead, Meghan's actions have been driven by a desire for personal gain, specifically financial gain. Lady C's allegations suggest that Meghan's advocacy work, far from being driven by a genuine desire to help others, may have been used as a tool to increase her influence and, ultimately, her wealth. In addition to her advocacy work, Meghan's public persona has been shaped by her style, her fashion choices, and her ability to navigate the complex world of royal protocol. As a member of the royal family, Meghan was often seen as a breath of fresh air, a modern woman who was unafraid to break from tradition. Her fashion choices, for example, were often more contemporary and bold compared to those of her royal counterparts. Meghan's ability to merge high fashion with a sense of casual elegance made her a global style icon, and her public appearances were widely covered by the media. Meghan's fashion was seen as a reflection of her personality, chic, modern, and confident. Yet, critics like Lady C have suggested that Meghan's fashion choices were part of a broader strategy to create a specific image that would appeal to the public, especially in contrast to the more traditional and reserved styles of other royals. Meghan's image as a modern, progressive woman also extended to her approach to motherhood. When Meghan and Harry had their first child, Archie, in 2019, they made it clear that they wanted to raise him outside the confines of traditional royal expectations. Meghan and Harry both expressed their desire to give Archie a more normal upbringing, away from the scrutiny of the media and the royal spotlight. Meghan's choice to keep the details of Archie's birth private, as well as her decisions regarding his upbringing, were seen as a challenge to the royal family's traditional approach to child-rearing. This move, according to Lady C, was not just about Meghan's desire to protect her child from the pressures of royal life. It was also part of a broader effort to assert her own autonomy and independence from the monarchy. Meghan's public statements about motherhood, while undoubtedly heartfelt, were also seen as a way for her to carve out a distinct identity separate from the royal family's rigid expectations. Meghan's carefully crafted public persona has undoubtedly played a role in her success as a public figure. But as Lady C has pointed out, this persona may not be as genuine as it appears. According to Lady C, Meghan has used her image as a humanitarian and advocate to manipulate public opinion, garner support, and secure her place within the royal family and beyond. While Meghan's work on behalf of social causes has earned her praise from many, it's also possible that her advocacy has been part of a broader, more strategic plan to achieve financial and personal success. If Lady C's claims are true, then Meghan's public persona may be nothing more than a carefully constructed facade, one designed to mask her true ambitions and manipulate those around her to achieve her goals. But whether or not Lady C's allegations are true, one thing remains clear. Meghan Markle's public image has been an essential part of her journey from actress to royal to global icon. It has shaped the way the world views her and has influenced the trajectory of her career and personal life. As the controversy surrounding Meghan continues to unfold, it's likely that her public persona will continue to evolve, perhaps in ways that will reveal more about her true motivations and ambitions. Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, has long been seen as a figure of rebellion within the royal family. Unlike his older brother, Prince William, who has followed the more traditional path of royal duty and responsibility, Harry has always been more willing to challenge the status quo. From his youthful indiscretions to his outspoken views on mental health and the pressures of royal life, Harry has often been portrayed as the wild card of the family, a prince who is not afraid to speak his mind and push against the expectations placed on him by both the monarchy and the public. However, perhaps the most significant act of rebellion came when Harry chose to step away from his royal duties in 2020, alongside his wife, Meghan Markle. This decision, which came after months of speculation and public scrutiny, marked a dramatic shift in Harry's life and position within the royal family. It also raised a host of questions about his loyalty to Meghan and the nature of their relationship. At the heart of the controversy surrounding Harry and Meghan's departure from royal duties is the question of loyalty. Prince Harry's decision to support Meghan, particularly during the height of media scrutiny, has been seen by many as a clear demonstration of his commitment to his wife. In a family that has long been defined by its public service and adherence to tradition, Harry's willingness to break away from the monarchy in order to protect his wife and their family was both shocking and, in some quarters, applauded. For Harry, this was about more than just stepping away from the royal spotlight. It was about prioritizing his family and ensuring that Meghan, who had been the subject of relentless media attacks, could have the peace and privacy she needed to thrive. From the moment Harry and Meghan made their decision to step back, Harry's loyalty to his wife has been clear. Despite the criticisms and backlash from certain sections of the public and the media, Harry stood by Meghan's side, supporting her through what many saw as an unjust and often cruel treatment by the press. In their public statements, Harry and Meghan both described their desire to lead a more independent life, free from the constant pressure of royal duties and media intrusion. Harry's choice to step away from his family's royal obligations was seen as an act of solidarity with Meghan, who had been portrayed as the outsider within the royal fold. This decision did not come without consequences. By stepping away from royal duties, Harry and Meghan relinquished many of the privileges and perks associated with their titles. They gave up their royal patronages, their official titles in certain capacities, and the financial support they had been receiving from the royal family. In many ways, Harry's decision to support Meghan marked the end of his official role within the royal family, as the couple sought to build a new life in North America. But despite the sacrifices they made, Harry has continued to defend his wife, even in the face of growing public criticism. His loyalty to Meghan has been unwavering, and this has only fueled further speculation about their relationship and whether Meghan might be influencing Harry's decisions in ways that go beyond love and care. The question of whether Harry is being manipulated by Meghan has become a central topic in royal discourse. While many see Harry's actions as a testament to his love for Meghan and his desire to protect his family, others, particularly those who have been critical of Meghan, argue that Harry is being controlled by his wife. This line of thought is often rooted in the idea that Meghan, as a strategic and ambitious figure, has been using her relationship with Harry to secure her own goals. Whether those goals involve financial independence, access to the royal legacy, or the pursuit of a more prominent role in the global spotlight. Some royal commentators, including Lady C, suggest that Meghan has been pulling the strings behind the scenes, using her influence over Harry to push forward her own personal agenda. It's important to note, however, that Harry has not been entirely passive in his relationship with Meghan. He has always been a highly independent figure, someone who has long sought to chart his own path, both in his personal life and his public duties. Even before meeting Meghan, Harry had already demonstrated a willingness to push back against royal norms, particularly when it came to his military service, his charity work, and his personal interests. Harry's passion for supporting veterans, his work with mental health advocacy, and his commitment to charitable causes have all been part of his public identity. These causes, which were important to Harry long before Meghan entered his life, have remained central to his mission as a public figure, and he has continued to champion them throughout his time in the United States. Yet, despite these efforts to carve out his own path, Harry's actions have often been framed in the context of his relationship with Meghan. From their shared initiatives, such as their work with the Archewell Foundation, to their public appearances and charitable endeavors, Harry and Meghan have presented themselves as a united front, a couple deeply committed to social change and global betterment. This alignment in values has led many to believe that Harry's decision to support Meghan in her quest for a more independent and private life is a reflection of his genuine belief in the importance of these causes. However, it has also led to speculation about how much of Harry's decisions are shaped by Meghan's influence. At the heart of this speculation is the notion that Meghan, with her strategic mind and keen sense of personal branding, has been guiding Harry's actions in ways that align with her own goals. For some, this idea of manipulation seems plausible, given Meghan's past history of using her public persona to her advantage. She has carefully crafted her image as a feminist, a humanitarian, and a woman of progressive values, all qualities that would resonate deeply with Harry's own desires for a more just and inclusive world. But it's also clear that Harry has not simply been following Meghan's lead. His decision to leave the royal family, to prioritize his mental health, and to build a new life in America was something that he had wanted long before he met Meghan. His personal struggles with the monarchy, the pressure of living up to royal expectations, and his desire to protect his own family have all played a role in his decision-making. Thus, while Meghan's influence on Harry cannot be denied, it's equally clear that Harry's decisions have been shaped by his own experiences and values. Whether or not these values align with Meghan's ambitions is a topic of ongoing debate. Some critics suggest that Meghan's influence is stronger than ever, particularly as they see the couple's public lives being increasingly intertwined with her personal agenda. Others argue that Harry's unwavering support for Meghan is simply a reflection of his deep love for her and his desire to protect her from the harsh realities of royal life. In the end, the relationship between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle is far more complex than simple loyalty or manipulation. It is a partnership that has been shaped by both personal and external forces, including the royal family's traditional expectations, the media's relentless scrutiny, and the couple's desire to create a life that reflects their shared values. Whether Harry's decisions are influenced by Meghan's ambitions or driven by his own needs for personal freedom remains open to interpretation. However, one thing is certain. Harry's loyalty to Meghan remains a central feature of their relationship, and it has been instrumental in their journey away from royal life and into the unknown territory of independence and self-reinvention. The royal family's response to Meghan Markle and Prince Harry's actions has been a subject of much debate, speculation, and, at times, intense scrutiny. The couple's decision to step back from their royal duties in early 2020 sent shockwaves through the monarchy, sparking widespread media coverage and sparking public opinion across the globe. Their departure from royal life was unprecedented, and it forced the royal family to reevaluate not only its relationship with Meghan and Harry, but also the institution itself. However, the royal family's response to Meghan's actions, particularly her increasingly public stance against the monarchy, has been largely subdued, until recently. For the most part, the royal family has maintained a position of quiet diplomacy, preferring to avoid engaging directly with the couple's highly publicized actions. Queen Elizabeth II, in particular, has remained notably reserved in her responses, as is often her style when it comes to family matters. In the wake of Meghan and Harry's departure from royal life, the Queen released a carefully worded statement expressing her sadness over the decision, but also reaffirming her support for the couple's new path. In her statement, she acknowledged their desire for a more independent life, but emphasized the importance of maintaining ties with the royal family. Despite this, the Queen's response was seen by many as a sign of the monarchy's reluctance to acknowledge the more contentious elements of Meghan and Harry's departure. The royal family's collective stance, as represented by the Queen and other senior members of the monarchy, has been one of understanding, tempered with disappointment. While the family has publicly wished Harry and Meghan well in their new ventures, there has been little outward support for the couple's decision to leave behind their royal titles and responsibilities. For many, this response was unsurprising. The royal family, after all, has long been known for its strict adherence to tradition and its commitment to royal duties. Any departure from this well-established framework was bound to cause tension, especially when it came to matters involving public image and family loyalty. But while the royal family's response has largely been diplomatic, there have been subtle indications of deeper tension beneath the surface. For example, in the months following Meghan and Harry's departure, there were numerous reports that members of the royal family, including Prince William and Prince Charles, were frustrated by the couple's actions. These frustrations were amplified by the fact that Harry and Meghan's decision to step back from their royal duties seemed to undermine the very foundation of the monarchy's hierarchical structure. After all, the royal family has always relied on its members to uphold its traditions, and the idea of two members of the family opting out of their royal obligations was a stark challenge to the system. The most telling sign of the royal family's displeasure came in the aftermath of the infamous Oprah Winfrey interview in March 2021. During this interview, Meghan and Harry made a series of explosive claims about their experiences within the royal family, including accusations of racism and neglect from certain family members. Meghan revealed that there had been discussions within the family about the color of her son Archie's skin before he was born, a statement that sent shockwaves through the public. Harry also spoke candidly about his strained relationship with his father, Prince Charles, and his feelings of being abandoned by him during a difficult time. The interview not only brought the couple's personal grievances into the spotlight, but also reignited long-standing tensions between the Sussexes and the royal family. In response to the interview, Buckingham Palace issued a statement that said, "The whole family is saddened to learn the full extent of how challenging the last few years have been for Harry and Meghan." The statement also noted that the issues raised in the interview would be addressed privately. This response, while calm and composed, was seen by many as an attempt to deflect attention from the specific allegations made by Meghan and Harry. The emphasis on private discussions was a clear indication that the royal family wished to handle these matters internally, away from the public eye. Despite the public nature of the interview, which many royal commentators viewed as a direct challenge to the institution, the family appeared keen on keeping a united front and avoiding further public confrontation. However, the fallout from the interview was not easily contained. The racial allegations were particularly damaging to the royal family's reputation, as the monarchy has long prided itself on its image as a symbol of unity and continuity. The accusations of racism, in particular, left many questioning the royal family's treatment of Meghan Markle, especially in light of the challenges she faced as a biracial woman entering the royal fold. In the wake of the interview, Prince William, who had previously been quiet on the matter, addressed the allegations directly during a public appearance. He was asked if the royal family was racist, to which he firmly replied, "We're very much not a racist family." This statement was seen by many as a direct counterpoint to the claims made by Meghan and Harry. However, William's response also highlighted the growing divide between the Sussexes and the rest of the royal family. While he denied the allegations, his response suggested a deep frustration with the couple's public airing of grievances, which had been made without consulting the royal family beforehand. Prince Charles, on the other hand, has been more measured in his response to the allegations. In private, reports suggested that Charles was deeply hurt by Harry's claims that he had been emotionally distant and unhelpful during a difficult period in Harry's life. However, the Prince of Wales has also made efforts to maintain an open line of communication with his son. During a recent public appearance, Charles was seen warmly greeting Harry at an event, suggesting that despite the tension, he remains committed to rebuilding his relationship with his son. However, the public nature of their disagreements suggests that any reconciliation between father and son will likely take time and may be complicated by the media's ongoing scrutiny. Despite the private and public tensions, the royal family's broader response to Meghan and Harry's departure has been one of containment. In the aftermath of the Oprah interview and the subsequent fallout, the monarchy has remained largely silent on the specifics of the couple's claims, opting instead to focus on its own duties and responsibilities. In some ways, this is a reflection of the royal family's approach to handling crises, quietly and without fanfare, behind closed doors. But this approach has been criticized by some who feel that the family's reluctance to address Meghan and Harry's grievances directly only serves to fuel the public's curiosity and speculation. For Meghan and Harry, their departure from the royal family and their decision to speak out against the monarchy have been defining moments in their personal and public lives. They have made it clear that they are no longer willing to conform to the expectations placed on them by the royal family and the media. In this sense, their actions represent a rejection of the traditional royal model and a desire to chart their own path. However, the royal family's response, often characterized by diplomacy, quiet restraint, and private discussions, has highlighted the tension between the couple's desire for independence and the monarchy's commitment to preserving its established traditions. As the public drama surrounding Meghan and Harry continues to unfold, it remains to be seen how the royal family will continue to respond. The fallout from the Oprah interview and the growing tensions between the Sussexes and the rest of the royal family suggest that this rift may not be easily healed. Nonetheless, the royal family's response has made it clear that, for now, the monarchy is focused on its own stability and the preservation of its public image, both of which could be undermined by further public infighting. When Lady Colin Campbell makes the claim that Meghan Markle has been scheming to bring down Prince Harry and secure access to Princess Diana's fortune, it is a dramatic accusation that requires careful analysis. If true, this assertion suggests that Meghan's actions within the royal family have not been simply the product of a woman seeking personal happiness or fulfillment. Instead, it implies that Meghan has been engaging in a complex and calculated strategy, one that involves manipulating not only Harry but also the royal family and the public, in order to achieve her own financial and social goals. To break down the alleged scheme, we must explore the key elements that Lady C claims Meghan has been orchestrating behind the scenes. At the core of Lady C's allegations is the suggestion that Meghan's relationship with Prince Harry has been part of a broader plan to gain control of Princess Diana's wealth and legacy. According to Lady C, Meghan has used her charm, public image, and strategic decisions to manipulate Harry into supporting her ambitions, which, ultimately, have been about securing financial independence and power. Lady C believes that Meghan's public persona as a loving wife, a feminist, and an advocate for social justice has been carefully constructed to hide her true intentions, which are far more self-serving. The first element of this alleged scheme, according to Lady C, is Meghan's use of Harry as a pawn in her pursuit of Diana's fortune. The idea is that Meghan, from the very beginning, saw Harry not just as a romantic partner, but as a means to an end. Harry, as the younger son of Princess Diana, was always going to inherit a portion of his mother's estate. By marrying Harry, Meghan gained access to a family legacy that could provide her with the financial resources she needed to elevate her social standing and give her the kind of influence that few could rival. Meghan's charm and ability to gain Harry's trust are critical elements of this alleged strategy. From the outset of their relationship, Meghan was aware of the power dynamics at play. She understood that Harry's position within the royal family was unique. He was not the heir to the throne, but he was still a member of the most famous family in the world. Meghan's ability to navigate this world, while maintaining the appearance of a loving and supportive partner, was an essential part of her plan. Lady C suggests that Meghan has used this facade to convince Harry that their relationship was based purely on love and mutual respect, while in reality, it was also about securing a piece of Diana's fortune. The next step in Lady C's alleged scheme revolves around the couple's decision to step away from royal duties. This, according to Lady C, was not simply about seeking privacy or a desire to escape the constant media scrutiny. Instead, the decision to leave behind their official roles as working royals was part of Meghan's larger strategy to position herself for financial independence. By relinquishing their titles and the privileges associated with royal life, Meghan and Harry were able to remove themselves from the constraints of the monarchy, allowing them to build their own brand and pursue business ventures that were not tied to the royal family. For Meghan, this decision was a crucial part of her financial plan. By stepping away from royal duties, she could establish herself as an independent, self-sufficient woman, free from the constraints of royal protocols and expectations. This, in turn, allowed Meghan to enter the world of business and entrepreneurship with a clean slate. She and Harry launched Archewell, a charitable foundation designed to focus on causes close to their hearts, and began working on various projects related to media, mental health, and social justice. But these ventures, according to Lady C, were not just about charity work, they were also about building a platform that could generate significant income. By positioning themselves as global influencers with a message of social change, Meghan and Harry were able to secure lucrative deals, such as their multi-million-dollar contracts with streaming services like Netflix and Spotify. Lady C argues that Meghan's efforts to build Archewell and other business ventures were not simply philanthropic, but also a strategic means of accumulating wealth and power. By gaining access to the kind of financial resources that come with such high-profile partnerships, Meghan was able to position herself as an autonomous figure with the ability to control her own destiny. This autonomy, Lady C claims, was key to Meghan's ultimate goal, gaining control over Diana's fortune. The next element of this alleged scheme is Meghan's relationship with the media. Throughout her time in the royal family and beyond, Meghan has had a complicated and often adversarial relationship with the press. Her experiences with tabloid media have been well documented, and Meghan has frequently spoken out against the negative and invasive coverage she has received. In many ways, this media persecution has become a central aspect of her public narrative. However, Lady C suggests that Meghan's relationship with the media is far more strategic than it appears. According to Lady C, Meghan has used the media's interest in her to her advantage, carefully selecting moments to share her personal struggles and grievances in order to shape public opinion and garner sympathy. One of the key moments in this strategy, according to Lady C, was Meghan's interview with Oprah Winfrey in 2021. During the interview, Meghan and Harry made a series of bombshell claims about their experiences within the royal family, including allegations of racism and neglect. Meghan's emotional recounting of her struggles with mental health and her isolation within the royal family resonated deeply with many viewers, leading to widespread public support. However, Lady C suggests that this interview was more than just an airing of grievances. It was a calculated move designed to paint Meghan as a victim and shift public opinion in her favor. By positioning herself as the victim of both the media and the royal family, Meghan was able to garner sympathy and support that would ultimately help her in her pursuit of financial independence and access to Diana's wealth. Furthermore, Lady C argues that Meghan's strategic use of the media has also played a role in her efforts to secure Diana's legacy. By aligning herself with the image of Princess Diana, whom many see as a beloved figure of compassion and charity, Meghan has been able to position herself as a worthy successor to Diana's legacy. According to Lady C, this alignment is not just a matter of personal admiration but a calculated attempt to secure access to the wealth and influence associated with Diana's name. Meghan, Lady C suggests, is not just interested in carrying on Diana's charitable work. She is interested in using Diana's legacy to solidify her own financial future. Finally, the most significant aspect of Meghan's alleged scheme, according to Lady C, is her manipulation of Prince Harry. Lady C believes that Meghan has carefully cultivated Harry's loyalty and support, using his affection and devotion to her as a way to further her own ambitions. By positioning herself as Harry's emotional anchor and confidant, Meghan has been able to convince him that her desires are aligned with his own. In Lady C's view, this emotional manipulation is key to understanding why Harry has been so willing to support Meghan, even in the face of mounting public criticism and family tension. Harry's unwavering loyalty to Meghan, Lady C claims, has allowed her to execute her plans with minimal resistance, positioning Harry as both a shield and a vehicle for her financial and personal goals. While Meghan has always maintained that her decisions are motivated by a desire for privacy and a better life for her family, Lady C's allegations suggest a far more strategic and ambitious plan. According to Lady C, Meghan's actions have been carefully orchestrated, with each move designed to bring her closer to her ultimate goal, gaining control over Princess Diana's fortune and securing her own financial independence. Whether or not these claims are true is a matter of speculation, but the idea that Meghan's relationship with Harry, her departure from the royal family, and her media persona are part of a larger scheme is one that cannot be easily dismissed. Meghan Markle's financial journey has been anything but conventional. From her early career as an actress to her highly publicized marriage to Prince Harry, her financial trajectory has been shaped by both personal ambition and the opportunities that have come with her high-profile public life. But as Lady C's allegations suggest, Meghan's financial moves may be more calculated than most people realize. According to Lady C, Meghan's seemingly altruistic endeavors, her humanitarian work, her public advocacy, and her philanthropic projects are not just about making a positive impact in the world. They are, in fact, integral parts of a larger, more strategic financial plan that aims to secure Meghan's independence from the royal family and position her for financial success, particularly through access to Princess Diana's legacy. To fully understand the scope of Meghan's financial movements, it is essential to break down the various stages of her financial journey and how they may fit into Lady C's claims. Meghan's financial path can be divided into several key phases: her acting career, her marriage to Prince Harry, their departure from royal duties, and the business ventures they have pursued since stepping away from the royal family. Each of these phases has contributed to Meghan's evolving financial strategy, and understanding these movements is crucial in assessing whether her financial goals are as self-serving as Lady C suggests. Meghan's financial journey began long before her marriage to Prince Harry. As an actress, Meghan worked steadily in Hollywood, with her most notable role being on the legal drama Suits, which ran from 2011 to 2018. During her time on the show, Meghan earned a respectable salary, which, along with other acting roles, helped to establish her as a self-sufficient professional. Meghan's role on Suits played a crucial part in her ability to build a public persona as a successful, independent woman. While she was not yet a household name, her acting career gave her the platform she needed to gain visibility and set the stage for future financial opportunities. Meghan's acting career also provided her with valuable connections in the entertainment industry, which would later prove useful when she transitioned into her role as the Duchess of Sussex. However, her time in Hollywood was not just about making a living. It was about establishing herself as a public figure with a certain level of influence, particularly among audiences who valued stories about strong, independent women. Meghan's success as an actress helped lay the groundwork for the brand she would later build, a brand centered on empowerment, philanthropy, and social justice. But while Meghan's acting career may have been a means to an end, it was not the end itself. Meghan's marriage to Prince Harry in 2018 marked a significant shift in her financial and public trajectory. As a member of the British royal family, Meghan gained access to the kind of wealth, influence, and visibility that few people in the world experience. However, as Lady C suggests, Meghan's entry into the royal family was not just about romance or love for Harry. It was, in many ways, a strategic move, a way for Meghan to position herself for financial success and power, particularly in relation to the legacy of Princess Diana. When Meghan married Harry, she instantly became part of one of the most wealthy and well-known families in the world. However, as a member of the royal family, Meghan was bound by certain expectations and limitations, including restrictions on how she could use her image for personal financial gain. This is where Lady C's allegations come into play. According to Lady C, Meghan's decision to marry Harry was not just about being a supportive partner to a man she loved. It was about gaining access to a royal family legacy that could offer financial benefits in the future. Diana's fortune, which included a substantial inheritance, was one of the most valuable royal assets outside of the crown itself. By marrying Harry, Meghan gained a direct connection to this legacy, a connection that could prove valuable if she ever sought financial independence from the royal family. During their time as working royals, Meghan and Harry were limited in how they could earn money, as the royal family generally does not participate in business ventures that could be perceived as commercially motivated. However, even within the constraints of royal life, Meghan found ways to build her brand. She was involved in various charitable activities, which were positioned as part of her royal duties, and she worked closely with Harry on their joint charitable initiatives, such as the Invictus Games. These efforts allowed Meghan to cultivate an image of a committed humanitarian, but, according to Lady C, they were also part of a broader financial strategy. By presenting herself as a socially conscious and highly influential figure, Meghan was positioning herself for greater financial opportunities down the line, once she and Harry were free from the confines of royal life. The most pivotal moment in Meghan's financial journey came in early 2020, when she and Harry made the groundbreaking decision to step back from their royal duties. This decision marked the beginning of a new chapter for the couple, one that would ultimately allow them to pursue financial independence and secure their own financial future. While many viewed this decision as a bold attempt to carve out a more private life away from the scrutiny of the press, Lady C suggests that it was also a financial maneuver designed to give Meghan greater control over her own earnings and influence. By stepping away from their royal roles, Meghan and Harry freed themselves from the traditional expectations of the monarchy, which had previously limited their ability to earn money from outside sources. As private citizens, they were now free to pursue lucrative deals with media companies, philanthropic ventures, and business opportunities that they could not have pursued while serving as senior members of the royal family. This newfound financial freedom allowed Meghan and Harry to sign significant contracts with platforms like Netflix and Spotify, which, according to various reports, were worth tens of millions of dollars. These deals, along with their continued work on Archewell and other business ventures, enabled Meghan to begin building a brand that was centered on her personal values and the causes she cares about, while also allowing her to generate substantial income. Lady C argues that Meghan's decision to step back from royal duties was not just about privacy or protecting her family. It was about positioning herself as a self-sufficient, financially independent woman. By stepping away from the royal family, Meghan was able to assert her autonomy and begin building a financial empire based on her own identity and brand, separate from the constraints of royal expectations. One of the most significant steps in Meghan's post-royal financial journey has been the launch of Archewell, the foundation that she and Harry created to focus on social issues, including mental health, racial justice, and global humanitarian work. The foundation has been widely praised for its charitable efforts, but Lady C suggests that it also serves as a vehicle for Meghan to generate income and influence. Through Archewell, Meghan and Harry have been able to work with various media companies, secure high-profile speaking engagements, and take on various philanthropic projects that align with their shared values. In addition to Archewell, Meghan and Harry's deals with Netflix and Spotify are perhaps the most public manifestations of their financial strategy. These multimillion-dollar contracts, which involve the creation of content ranging from documentaries to podcasts, have allowed Meghan to transition from a royal figurehead to a full-fledged businesswoman and media mogul. According to Lady C, these ventures were not just about promoting causes Meghan cares about, they were about securing her financial future, gaining independence from the royal family, and positioning herself as a key player in the global media landscape. In this sense, Meghan's financial movements can be seen as part of a larger, long-term plan to secure financial independence while also maintaining a public image that is built on her humanitarian values. By leveraging her position as a member of the royal family, her fame, and her public persona, Meghan has been able to open doors that would otherwise have been closed to her. But whether this strategy is solely driven by a desire to help others or whether it's part of a larger plan to secure Diana's fortune and her own financial legacy is still up for debate.